Imagine being trapped in a home where no one loves you. Imagine waking up every day knowing that the people who should care for you only want to hurt you. This is the story of Zaina, a girl who faced cruelty beyond imagination. But instead of breaking, she fought back, and how she did it will leave you speechless. Her life wasn't always like this. Once she was happy. Once she had a father who adored her. But fate had other plans. Zaina's father was her whole world. A kind man, hardworking and loving. He would tell her bedtime stories, bring her little gifts, and promise that no matter what happened, he would always protect her. But life is cruel, and it was about to take everything from her. When her father remarried, Zaina tried to be hopeful. Maybe this woman would love her like a mother. Maybe she would bring happiness to their home, but hope can be dangerous. Because behind that kind smile was a heart filled with jealousy and greed. At first it was small things, a missing toy, a favorite dress replaced with rags, small subtle ways to remind Zaina that she was no longer welcome. Then it got worse. "You've already eaten today," the stepmother would lie as Zaina's stomach growled in hunger. And her father, he didn't see the truth, not yet. One day her father received news. He had to travel far for work. "Be good," he told Zaina, kissing her forehead. "I'll be back soon." But he didn't know that the moment he left, his daughter's life would turn into a nightmare. Because now, no one was there to protect Zaina. With her father gone, the stepmother stopped pretending. Zaina was no longer family, she was a servant, forced to cook, clean, and serve the very people who tormented her. But no matter how much she cried, no one came to save her, no one cared. But Zaina, she was different. She wasn't just strong, she was smart. And in her heart, she knew one thing. She would never let them break her. She realized something important. Her stepmother wasn't as powerful as she seemed. She had fears. She had blind spots. And Zaina, she was about to use them against her. Her first move was small, harmless, a mistake, or so it seemed. But when the stepmother slipped on the wet floor and fell, Zaina felt a spark of something new. Power. For the first time, she realized she could fight back. Her next move was bold. She had to reach her father. He would believe her. He would save her. But little did she know. Her stepmother had spies. Her letter was never sent. Instead, punishment awaited. "You think you're clever, don't you?" the stepmother hissed. And for the first time, Zaina felt fear. Real, crushing fear. But instead of breaking down, she started planning. Because if she wanted to escape, she had to be smarter than ever before. Alone, betrayed. Zaina had never felt more powerless. The cold walls around her weren't just a prison, they were a warning. "You don't matter," they seemed to whisper. "You will never escape." But the stepmother had made one mistake. She underestimated Zaina. And that was about to cost her everything. Every second mattered. Every sound outside was a risk. If they caught her, there would be no second chances. She had to be quick. She had to be silent. And just as she pulled the last panel free, someone was coming. Her heart pounded, but her mind was sharp. The door unlocked. The stepmother's figure loomed over her. "Learned your lesson?" she sneered. But Zaina, she stayed silent, because sometimes the smartest move is to wait. The moment she left, Zaina got back to work, because this was just the beginning. She needed help, but who could she trust? Then she saw him, a village boy, young, innocent, but most importantly, free. She didn't beg, she didn't cry, she simply told him one thing: "Find my father, tell him I need him." For the first time in weeks, Zaina felt hope. But hope is a dangerous thing, because when the stepmother found out, she was furious. "You think you can outsmart me?" she hissed. "You are nothing without me." But Zaina didn't flinch, because deep down, she knew her message had already been sent, and that meant one thing: her time was running out. A father's love is powerful, and when Zaina's father heard the boy's message, he didn't hesitate. He raced home, desperate to see his daughter. But when he arrived, something felt wrong. "Zaina?" he asked, but the stepmother, she was ready. "Oh, my dear husband, I have terrible news," she whispered. Zaina ran away. Lies. Lies wrapped in sweet words. But Zaina's father, he wasn't a fool. Something didn't add up, and he was about to find out the truth. And then he heard it, a small sound, a whisper of hope. She looked up, and for the first time in months, she saw someone who truly loved her. She was finally free. The truth was out, and now there was only one thing left to do. You betrayed my daughter, my family, and you will pay. And with that, the stepmother's reign of terror was over. She had suffered, she had fought, but in the end, she had won. Because this wasn't just about revenge, it was about survival. And she had survived. For the first time in a long time, Zaina was free. But freedom isn't just about escaping a cage, it's about healing from what happened inside it. Her body was healing, but her heart, that would take time. She had choices now. She could hide from the past, or she could turn her pain into power. Zaina had always been clever, but now she wanted something more: knowledge, power, a future. The stepmother had tried to break her, but what she didn't know was that Zaina was unbreakable. The past had shaped her, but the future, that was hers to write. Not all battles end with a single victory. Some ghosts refused to stay buried. Zaina could feel it. A storm was coming. She didn't know when, she didn't know how, but she knew one thing. She was ready. This wasn't the end. No, this was just the beginning. Life had given her scars, but it had also given her wisdom, strength, and now, a purpose. The story of the girl who outsmarted her evil stepmother wasn't over. It was just getting started. Zaina's story is more than just a tale. It's a lesson that no matter how dark life gets, no matter how impossible it seems, you always have the power to change your own story. If you believe in resilience, in courage, in the power of never giving up, then share this story. Let the world know that even in the darkest times, light can find a way. Like this video. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And subscribe for more stories that inspire, challenge, and awaken the fighter inside you. Because sometimes, the best revenge is success.